personally, looking back on the season?
Well, disappointing. Anytime your team is losing, you can't be satisfied with how you're playing. And, statistically, I haven't been producing. That's part of the reason why we're losing. I felt like I got off to a much better start, and the team did as well. And, the last 7-8 games, I haven't been playing well, and the team's been losing.
How do you think the mentality's been the last couple of games? Some of the spirits seem to be up still a little bit.
Yeah, we got to try to cling on to anything we can and got to build on positives as opposed to dwell on negatives. And, throughout those losses, we played hard throughout the most games. I think the first loss at Edmonton, they took it to us, and then we had a bad game in Washington. All the other games were right there. Thought the team played well, and it's just a matter of scoring on opportunities.
Get the playoff spot already locked up, but how nice is it to know you can still lock up home field with a win?
Yeah, it's great. We've been in the situation for the last 6 weeks, so it's frustrating at the same time. But I think we just gotta forget about that and just go out and play lacrosse and forget about what's at stake in terms of home or an away game. Obviously it's nice that we still hold our own, still control our own destiny, but I just forget about that and just play lacrosse.
How was nice to have the home game tonight?
It's nice to be back at home. Obviously, we have a much better record at home. With obviously the best fans in the league, and for some reason we play better here.
Again, just to the playoffs a little bit. Toronto, the history's there obviously with that. What kind of stuff do you expect from Toronto and this history just in general with them?
Well, we've had some intense battles with them over the years, and they've got the. I would say they've dominated the last few years in terms of knocking us out of the playoffs or eliminating us from the playoffs, or whatever scenario, they always seem to come out on top. So we need to find a way to change that, whether it's here or in Toronto.
How much are you looking forward to just being back in the playoffs in general? It's been.
Well, obviously, yeah, it's nice to be back in the playoffs. It's not that great going into the playoffs on a 7-game losing streak. So hopefully tonight we can change that, or whatever. Is it 7 or 8?
7.
Yeah, 7. So.
When you look at the your career playoff stuff, how do you have a moment that sticks in mind in the playoffs? A couple championships. Is there one moment that stands out for you?
In playoffs?
Yeah.
I got a really bad memory, but I always go back to what the original stuff, like championship goal, 1992 in Philadelphia. That one sticks out. The year we won at the Ottawa with Darius Kilgore scoring a winning goal, and how loud that was. Those goals there were two that definitely stand out.
How much are you asked about when you think might hang it up?
Well, I'm 45, and I'd say for the last 10 years. Because when I was 35, not many guys played past 35. So the questions usually start at about 35.
When you're not asked about, how much do you think about it?
I've never really thought about it until this year. Lately, I've been thinking about it more. Because we're losing, I'm not producing. I didn't play in Minnesota. So at my age, and I've always said this for the longest time, is when you're older and you're slumping, you're washed up. When you're young and slumping, it's called a slump. You break out of it. Like, if I was 25 with my production, that's a good year. But at 45 with my production, it's not a good year.
It's nice to get back in the last 2 games, though, obviously.
Oh, for sure. And I thought I played better. Just kind of trying to let the game come to me as opposed to force an issue and make things happen. When I was in my prime, I didn't ever force the game. I just kind of let things happen naturally. Took what the defense gave me, where I kind of found that last few games before the last 2, before I was sat, is I was trying to force the issue and trying not to make mistakes and making a lot of mistakes and not picking the ball up and whatever, turning the ball over. But it definitely was nice to get back in the lineup.
With the offense in general, is it matter just forcing it lately, or is there something else forcing the offense as a unit?
Our offense is not producing. We've talked a lot about it. We hear the talk. I think it doesn't help having that added pressure. The guys tend to hold their sticks a lot tighter. It's tough to play when you're behind. When you're not scoring, it's obvious you're going to be behind most games. But there's a lot of excuses, from everybody, whatever it is. Guys just have to find a way to score goals. The one game in Toronto particularly, I remember we made a lot of posts. You score those goals, it's not a big issue. At the beginning of the year, even when we were scoring goals, it was the offense wasn't good enough. Now we're scoring a lot less goals. It's hard to, it's definitely harder to play when there's added pressure.
Thanks, John.
Thanks.
Good luck tonight.